Welcome to Future Squared, the podcast all about innovation, entrepreneurship, and self-improvement. My name is Steve Glaveski, and each week I'll bring you conversations with thought leaders from not only the entrepreneurial domain, but also from the world of technology, psychology, philosophy, economics, politics, biology, management and leadership, health and fitness, and more to help you think in a multidisciplinary way. Avoid relying too heavily on the first piece of information encountered, and ultimately to make better informed decisions so that you can more readily become the person that you want to become. Each and every Friday, I'll also bring you Fast Fix Friday, some short, high-impact and easily digestible insights to have you finishing your week on a high. Future Squared is brought to you by Collective Campus, an innovation accelerator that works with organizations to unlock their latent potential to create more impact for humanity and lead more fulfilling lives. If your organization needs help coming up with ideas, testing and turning those ideas into reality, creating a culture of innovation, or partnering with startups, visit www.collectivecampus.io. Without further ado, let's kick into today's episode. Welcome back to Future Squared for episode number 264. Before you get too excited, you'll note that this is just a 10-minute or so long episode. I didn't interview Georges St Pierre as such, but I was lucky enough to ask him a question in front of a packed house at Melbourne's Convention Centre on Saturday night as part of his An Evening with GSP Australian Speaking Tour. If you're not familiar with who Georges St Pierre, aka GSP, is, he's arguably the GOAT. That is, the greatest of all time, mixed martial artist. He's a former welterweight and middleweight UFC champion and still holds the record for most wins in the UFC, tied at 20, and boasts a professional record of 26 wins with just 2 losses. Both losses coming in championship fights relatively early in his career against Matt Hughes and Matt Serra, and both losses were avenged in relatively quick succession, as GSP reflected, learned, and applied the lessons to overcome his adversaries the second time around. GSP grew up in Montreal and studied and trained in Kyokushin Karate as a child. In early adulthood, whilst trying to make ends meet so he could invest in his training and his career, George spent time bouncing at nightclubs, worked as a garbage cleaner, slept on the floor of a dilapidated apartment, and caught freezing cold trains to the Bronx in New York City to train with the best. As listeners of this show will appreciate, talent will only get you so far. The world is awash with naturally talented people who never truly fulfilled their potential or came anywhere close to the success they could have achieved if they persisted. Persistence trumps everything. As such, I was keen to understand what got GSP through those early days when he was sleeping on the floor. What kept him going in the face of supposedly insurmountable odds, when even those closest to him thought he was crazy to even think that he could one day become a UFC champion.
You just talked about staying the champion. Well, on becoming the champion, in any domain, success is more about persistence as opposed to natural talent. And you mentioned you're a garbage cleaner, you bounced at nightclubs, you lived in a shitty apartment, catching the train down to New York. What other than proving your four friends wrong kept you going in those early days when you had absolutely nothing?
There's many things that make you be champion, that keep you going. I didn't talk about confidence, which is one of the most important things. My coach used to tell me confidence for a fighter, for an athlete, is very important. You got skills and you need confidence. These two are the most important thing, and I'm gonna explain it to you. As an athlete, as a fighter, if you got the skills but you don't have the confidence, it's like someone who's rich, has a lot of money in his bank account but cannot spend it. However, if you got the confidence and you have no skills, it's like you have your goal up here, but you don't have the ladder to climb, to reach it. And he says to me, John Danaher is from New Zealand originally, he says to me, he's my jiu-jitsu coach, he says, to be successful in the fight game, you need skills and confidence. A lot of fighters, they lack confidence. And confidence is not a state of mind. You're not born like this. You made it. People was like, how you made confidence? I can't work on confidence. How do you do that? There's many tricks to work on your confidence. And I'm going to give you one trick. In my last fight with Michael Bisping, I had a condition, like, because my ulcer, it was very bad. I didn't feel good sometimes. And when I came to my locker room, a lot of my training partner, my training partner that fought that night, Mickey Gall, Joseph Duffy, Eamon Zabi, all lost. A lot of them lost by knockout. So when you go in the locker room and then you arrive fight night, and you see one guy with the ice bag, another guy who went to hospital because of a concussion, another guy is all messed up, he got knocked out. You're like, shit, man, maybe I don't have the right training partner. Maybe my gym needs to improve. You start doubting yourself. And you're like, man, what is going on? It's bad. You know, I didn't sleep well the last few nights. I had cramps and stuff. Like, man, you start doubting yourself. Things doesn't go well, you know. And they were like a bad atmosphere in my locker room, like a very bad one. So one trick that I do for confidence, I remember right before the guy come to get me, the guy that kicked the door and said, St Pierre, you're up next, are you ready? So I have something that I do every fight. So especially for that fight, that helped me because it was a bad atmosphere in my locker room. It was like a curse. I felt like in my locker room had like a curse. Everybody lost. Everybody was blood everywhere. One guy with an ice bag, and I was like, man, everybody the moral, the energy was low. It was bad. It was like a funeral. It was very bad. So I went to the locker room like this, and then I'll tell you what I did to work on my confidence. It's James Lange theory. I read this. He says, your mind can dictate your body. For example, if I'm thirsty, I'm telling my body to grab water, and I drink. However, the opposite is true as well. And it's something that everybody can use for all your life, or it works when you ask a girl for a date, when you go for an audition, when you go for an interview for a job, when you go for a conference to present a project. Confidence. So my locker room looked like a funeral atmosphere. It was bad. So I went in front, right before I knew the fight before mine finished, I knew I was up next. I went in the bathroom. I didn't go to the bathroom to piss or anything. I went to the bathroom to find myself alone in front of the mirror like I do every fight. And then I start looking at myself in the mirror. And I'm scared. I'm very scared. I have doubt. I'm asking sometimes my question. I was like, what the hell did I do there? Oh my God, man. What the hell? Why did I choose to go back? Oh my God. What if I fail, if I get humiliated? So you need to shake it up. I go in front of the mirror now. I start acting. I start acting to myself. Say, I'm better than this guy. All my training partner lost. I'm going to show them how it should be done. I'm a veteran, I'm many-time champion. I'm gonna show these young boys how it should be done. I'm gonna put back the gym on the positive note. So when I go back to the training on Monday, they idolize me. Michael Bisping is not as good as me. I'm much better than him. I train with better training partner than his. I'm very well prepared. I got the best coach with me. I'm the best fighter in the world. And you need to boost your ego. And then I'm telling that to myself. I was looking at myself. And then when I'm ready, I grab the door, I step out of the room. Right away, mentally, I'm not... people will misunderstand this for cockiness, being cocky, and confidence. I'm trying to be confident. I'm cocky when I'm with myself. I'm not cocky in front of the public, in front of people, trying to be cocky. But when I talk to myself, you need to be cocky. Even though you don't believe it in the beginning, say it. Act like it until you make it. So when I step out of the room, of the bathroom, I was a different person than when I stepped in. So what happened is, now I see my training partner, my trainer, I'm like, let's do this, let's go kick his ass, you know, like. And then I'm walking to the octagon. Even though I'm scared, you know, deep down inside, I'm acting like, for me, it's impossible to fail. Like I'm in the rush. I'm excited to find out how I'm gonna kick his ass and how I'm gonna beat the hell out of it. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm happy to be here and I'm smiling. This is all fake. Deep down inside, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? There's so many people in here. This is normal to be afraid. There is no courage without fear. But you have to act like it until you make it. And what's happened, what James Lange says, he says that also your physique, your action can influence your thinking. And he's true, because I use that every fight. Every fight I use that. And every fight, there's not a single fight except I would say maybe my loss to Serra. There's not a fight that I'm not afraid. I'm afraid every fight. And I thought when I was young that, at one point with the experience, with time, I'm going to be older, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. But I'm wrong. Because every fight is bigger than the one before. And it's always bigger and bigger and bigger. And everything gets bigger, you have more to lose. And I'm more scared every time. However, I got the experience, I know how to deal with it. You know? But if you see a fighter, when he says, oh, I'm not afraid, no, I'm not. Because he's a liar. He's lying to you. He's lying to you because, or he's crazy. You know? But you can't be a champion if you're crazy in this game. He's scared. And you know, sometimes I've met sport psychologists, and these guys, they make me laugh sometimes. They go like, no, George, don't say you're afraid, you're excited. I'm like, what the hell does that mean, excited? It's like, I'm excited if I see a beautiful girl naked, I will be excited. I'm excited when I'm doing a 3-day fasting and I'm about to get my favorite dish at the restaurant. That's how I'm excited, you know what I mean? I'm excited if I win the fight. I'm not excited if I'm going to fight and I might get knocked out in front of everybody and be humiliated. Hell no! I'm scared. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm afraid. But there is no courage without fear. And remember, confidence, it's very important, and it's not a state of mind. Confidence, it's a choice, and it's up to you to make that choice, to work on it, to building up. And it's like a muscle. The more you build them up, the better it grows. The better you will get good at building it up, and the better your confidence will grow. That's what I can say.
Hi guys, Steve again. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to receive a weekly email from me, complete with reflections, books I've been reading, words of wisdom, and access to blogs, ebooks, and more that I'm publishing on a regular basis, just leave your details at futuresquared.xyz/subscribe, and you'll receive the very next one. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, please take a minute to like, share, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or Spotify. It goes a long way to giving the podcast the exposure it needs so I can continue bringing you guests and conversations of the highest caliber. Until next time, Future Squared is out.